Hey everyone, Terry Harrington here from Remembrance Photography by Terry with Photo Tip Friday. Last week I talked about some different modes on your camera that you could use, such as portrait mode, landscape mode, sports mode, and we talked about each one and what each one would be good to use in different situations. Well, today I'm going to talk about some modes that are a little bit more on the manual side. On my camera, the Nikon, there's a dial on the top, and I have the letters P, S, A, M. Now, if you have a Canon, you may see P, A, V, T, V, and M. If you don't have a dial on the top, you may be able to find this in your menu if your camera offers this option. I want to go through each one of these with you, starting with P, which is considered programmed auto. It is a form of auto that your camera will choose your shutter speed and your aperture for the situation, the lighting, the different things around you for the best photo, to take the best photo. Now, with this one, you can do some tweaking with it to make a few changes. Your flash will not pop up on its own typically, at least on my camera it doesn't, and it does give you a little bit of control. But this is a good one to use if you're taking photos and you don't want to miss anything and you don't have time to change any settings on your camera. You want to use the programmed auto mode. The next one is the shutter priority mode. This one, you choose your shutter speed, your camera chooses your aperture. So for this one, you want to use it if you want to freeze motion or if you want to blur motion. So if you want to freeze motion, you want to have a faster shutter speed. If you want to blur motion, you want to have a slower shutter speed. And the next one would be aperture priority. Okay, aperture priority, just like shutter priority, you choose the aperture, your camera will choose the shutter speed. Now this was the one that you want to use to either have a blurry background or a crisp background. To get a blurry background, you want to have a lower aperture. To have a crisp background, you want to have a higher aperture. And then lastly is manual. Manual is where you choose yourself how your camera is going to take a photo. This one is a tough one. You want to practice a lot, and I suggest that you practice in the aperture priority and the shutter speed priority before you go to manual to try and get to know how each one works and do some studying up on it. I sometimes use aperture priority, but I try not to rely too much on it. I try to use manual as often as possible. But it does take a lot of practice and getting to know your camera and your surroundings. But try it. Get to know it. That is the goal that you want to get to, is to be on manual 90% of the time. So anyway, I hope that helps you a little bit to know the modes on your camera. Check back with me next week. We will talk about ISO sensitivity. And until then, I hope you have a great week. Keep practicing, and happy clicking.